I'm Dave Palumbo, founder of Species Nutrition. I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work and are backed by science. From my earliest bodybuilding days, I believed in only putting the best in my body, and that lives on in the Species Nutrition line of products. We use only top-of-the-line formulations dosed for maximum results and the best flavoring systems available. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. Dave Palumbo here with an RX Muscle rant. Guys, I had to do this rant. I really didn't want to do it, but I had to do it because it's been really bothering me. And it has to do maybe less with bodybuilding, more with life. And I guess, you know, the content we put out here on this channel is varied. So I guess it fits in with what we're doing. But, you know, I had an incident the other day where I had Leo Rex on my show. And Leo does his Leo Longevity YouTube channel. And I think he's doing a great job. I think he's you know, a researcher. He likes to go online and dig up the latest and greatest articles. He goes over it. I think it's an educational channel for sure, what he's doing. And, you know, I had been introduced to him by my friend Amin Alai. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. And that was the connection. And we kind of hit it off because we both, you know, understand science and like to delve into the minutia of what's going on to try to get to the bottom of the best way of doing things. And so I have a relationship with him in more of a professional, you know, manner. I don't really know him that well personally because we haven't hung out or anything like that, but I respect him and I know he respects me. I also have obviously a relationship with Amin Alai for 25 years. I've known him. You know, I wouldn't say that he's a friend that I hang out with on a regular basis, but he's a person that I always talk to at shows, and we always communicated on the phone, and, you know, I knew his brother well. So I've known him for a long time, and when he came back into the industry to start working with bodybuilders again, you know, I gave him a voice, and I got him on my show because, like I said, I'm a friend of his. And I know he's gone through some tough times over the last couple of years, and by his own admission, you know, he had substance abuse issues. He's had, obviously, he lost a stepson to cancer who he raised. Even though it wasn't his biological son, he lost him. And, you know, as a friend, I'm always going to be there for him, you know, to support him emotionally, just like he would be there for me emotionally, and he always has been. So when Leo and Amin had some kind of a rift, and I don't want to go into the details of it. It's really not important, because whatever the rift was and whatever he did to him and he said about him, I don't care. That's not, see, my issue is that I'm friends with these guys, professionally and, you know, on a personal level. And so I get caught in the middle. And this happens a lot with a lot of, you know, you guys probably know this. It happens in families a lot. You know, you love these people, and then this person's not talking to that person, and then if you talk to the person, then you're disloyal to the other person. That's how you can't. You're in a no-win scenario, so to speak. So I've been trying to help Amin, you know, get through whatever he's been going through. And people could say what they want about him. No one really knows what's going on unless you're there with him. Okay. And I don't know necessarily what's going on either. And that has nothing to do with it, because my friendship with him goes beyond whatever he's doing professionally or in his personal life, and his you know, life away from the, I guess, bodybuilding, you know, genre. So when I decided to have Leo on to do another show, like we always have him on every couple months, to talk about some kind of a great topic in, you know, performance enhancement, I decided I wanted to try to broker a peace between Amin and him. And I know he was very, very, you know, passionate about something that he didn't like that Amin did, several things, and he voiced it on his channel. But at the same time, I wanted him to try to make the peace with Amin. And I knew that if I brought it up ahead of the interview, that it wouldn't go over well, and that, you know, he would prepare a statement, and I didn't want that. So I wanted to get his raw emotional response. And I felt that, you know, that would be enough to maybe get him and Amin to shake hands, so to speak, and maybe put their differences that occurred in the past behind them and maybe move forward in a positive way. And that was my complete intentions. And it backfired in my face because I didn't know, necessarily all the backstory behind whatever they had going on. And, Leo didn't respond the way I thought he might respond. And that's fine because he's his own person and he can respond. And I respect that. And, he called me after the show and he felt like maybe that I caught him by surprise or sandbagged him in some way. And I explained to him, I said, I just wanted to get a real, raw response out of you. And I wasn't trying to pull a fast one because if I didn't like the guy, I wouldn't have him on my show. I don't put people on my show that I don't like, or that I don't have some kind of understanding with professionally. So I would never have put him on there if, and once again, me putting him on there definitely strained my relationship with Amin because Amin felt that was disrespectful to him. But I had Leo on because I respect him professionally. And I'm trying to not get involved in all the drama behind the scenes. So I felt, as a friend to Amin, since I'm going to have Leo on, I wanted to bring up maybe we can somehow broker a peace. And he could apologize because obviously Amin went through a lot losing a child. And I felt, having 3 kids myself now, I can't even imagine what that must feel like. I can't even conceptualize it. And I know you guys out there who have kids can understand what I'm talking about. The ones that don't have any clue. Okay, so I just wanted to broker a peace between them because they both professionally deserve the right to be able to earn a living in this industry, and there's no reason for them to be bashing each other, okay? So I tried to do this with all good intents. There was no manipulative aspects behind my decision to ask Leo about this because the show had nothing to do with that, really, if you think about it. And it didn't work out, so I agreed to Amin and Leo that I was going to cut that segment out. Of course, someone grabbed the segment and put it up, but that's fine. I cut the segment out, but I left the comments on the thing. People could discuss and debate and hate and love and whatever you want to do. I don't care. And it's not going to affect my life, and I hope it won't affect those guys' lives. But the bottom line is that we should be about forgiveness, and I can't tell you how many bad things that a lot of us out there have done. We all have skeletons in our closet. Leo, by his own admission, has substance abuse in his past, his parents too, and that's probably why it's so emotionally tugging on him to see maybe Amin do certain things, and maybe he overreacted. I don't know, because of his background, and I know he wants to help Amin, but you know what, people are at different points in their life, and Amin just wants to make a living to support his family. And I know Leo is doing the same, and I support both of them. They're both friends of mine, even though there's a strain there because of the fact that they're not getting along right now. And if they want to broker a peace and they want to come on the show and try to do that, I'll open my show up and be that venue to do that. If they don't want to, that's fine. But guys, just let's drop this already because there's no malintent here. What my intentions were pure and to help these guys get past this. If they don't want to and it's not time to do that, it's too still fresh, then it's not going to happen. And that's all there is to it. And in the same light, I have my after hour show that I do, and I have Big Lenny on the show. We've been having him on weekly with the rest of the Whack Pack, which is, John Romano and Greg Valentino, myself, and of course, Jimmy the Bull, and Mr. G. Mr. G, who's a friend of mine also for 25, 30 years. And he will always be. And he's always there. He's the kind of guy that you can call at 4 a.m. when you're stuck on the side of the road, and he'll come and pick you up, even if he has to drive from New York to Florida. That's the level of loyalty that he has to me and to his friends. So when I bring Lenny onto the show, Lenny becomes part of the crew, so to speak, and I guess Mr. G sees him as, and Mr. G has given him advice before and, feels like he's a friend. And so I think that what happened, if you guys have followed that whole disaster, Lenny went on another show and one of his podcasts and said that, I guess he was complaining that Mr. G never sent him the protein cookies that supposedly were supposed to be sent. And so he said, he's a total moron. And you know what? Coming from Lenny, I know there's not a lot of malicious intent there. That probably was said in jest, but Lenny has no filter on. So it came off maybe as disrespectful. Because Lenny busts my balls on his podcast and some of the other guys on the show, and I don't think any of us take it seriously, but Mr. G took it seriously because he's such a loyal friend, and he felt like that could hurt his business. And so, once again, being a friend of Lenny's now and being a friend of Mr. G's, I'm caught in the middle here. And, Mr. G obviously doesn't want me to talk to Lenny, and Lenny hasn't said anything to me, but I'm sure Lenny doesn't give a crap one way or another, but I would like to, broker peace. I know they were talking about getting in the ring and the octagon and fighting each other for charity, and that's great. I'm a real, I used to get on my report cards when I was in elementary school that I'm an instigator of trouble. So I can certainly love to see that happen, but I also want to make sure that they're still friends. And I think Mr. G overreacted a little bit because he doesn't really know. Lenny has no filter, and that Lenny's, comment was not meant maliciously, but you have to understand that Mr. G has a business that he's running and he's supporting his family, and that, he doesn't want someone that we have on a show and that he considers his friend to call him a total moron. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't call him a total moron. I might say he's out of his mind, because he is, in a good way, in a creative way, but I would never say he's a total moron, because he's not. He's not. That's not his character. He comes off and he does his, interesting and funny, creative stuff on the show, but that's his shtick, that's his sales pitch. Just like, we all have our own little sales pitch and how we inspire people and do what we do. And Lenny has his own shtick too. I know what his whole thing is. Lenny's not a dumb guy. He's a very smart guy, and he's playing up his role. That's why people say, why would you have Lenny on? The terrible things he says about, different races. I said, Lenny's playing a role. I said, and he's making money from it, and that's fine. And I appreciate the creative process, and I find him to be a character, and that's why I like to have him on the show. So I will hopefully get those two on, and I think I could broker that piece way easier than I could broker the other piece between Amin and Leo. But at the end of the day, and this happens when I critique bodybuilders too. A lot of people take things personally because no one wants to be criticized. I understand that. I don't want to be criticized either, but I understand when someone's doing it from a malicious intent or someone's doing it from a constructive criticism or a humor or a funny intent. I've seen people make fun of me, but it was funny, and that's fine. I can laugh at myself. If someone goes out there and tries to say that, Dave Palumbo is giving, dangerous advice and his products, are poisoned, that I would take personally, because I know that's not true, and that's being done to hurt me in some way. So, I don't think many people would say that, although there's a bunch of idiots out there who will do it just because they're trouble stirrers and they're trolls online. But for the majority of the people, they know that that's not true. So, getting back to the point is, in life, you're going to have, tension between relationships that this person doesn't get along with this person, and when you get in the middle, you're in a no-win scenario. So all I can do is offer my love, my support for everyone, and I'm not going to abandon Amin, and I'm not going to abandon Leo, because as much as the other two would like that, because and I'm not going to stop promoting the good stuff that they do, because Amin does good stuff and Leo does good stuff. And I'm not going to say I'm not going to be friends with these people because the other person's insulted. I'm sorry, that's not the way it is. Just like I'm not going to stop talking to Lenny because he said something bad about Mr. G, but although Mr. G has got my loyalty to the end of time. He knows that. So I will broker peace, and Mr. G is about forgiveness, so I'm sure that will blow over, hopefully this coming week on After Hours. But once again, you can't be afraid to put it out there, because if you are and you're worried that, the trolls will come after me, or they'll get me online, or they'll put an order 66, then you're afraid of living. And there's a lot of people who walk around afraid of living. They're afraid to put it out there. They're afraid to put their opinion out there because people are going to jump all over them. And you know what? I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. You don't have to watch my channel. You don't have to like what I say. You don't even have to even listen to what I say. Okay? A lot of people watch the channel just to try to poke fun at the stuff, the content I put up, and that's great because you're giving me content and giving me hits. That's fine. I don't mind the support, but understand that everyone has a motivation of why they do what they do. So if Amin did some things that maybe people don't like, there might have been a reason behind what happened. Okay, you have to look deeper into what's going on behind the scenes, and that's the case with everyone. Just because I have thyroid cancer, okay? I could be losing my mind right now and having a nervous breakdown. And I could be doing messed up things because of it. And you know what? you would say I have every right, but not everyone cares about what I have going on, and not everyone knows what I have going on. They could just say Dave lost his freaking mind. So you have to have compassion for what people are going through. I just happen to be good at dealing with adversity because I don't believe in adversity. I believe that everything that happens for a reason, and I have to find the deeper meaning in it and give it meaning myself. And you don't have to do that in your life, but if you do it, you'll be a much happier person. Not everyone has that ability to do that. And people do messed up things when they're in messed up situations. So once again, we're all not perfect. And I'm sure we all want forgiveness for all the things that we're embarrassed about that we have done in the past, that when we look back, we say, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And I am no angel. I've done stuff that I it's embarrassing that I went to jail. I don't want to, that's part of my life I'm not that proud of. But you know what? It changed me and made me a better person because of it, because I looked at it as a positive experience rather than a negative experience. And once again, not everyone can do that. But I highly motivate, I hope I'm highly motivating you, and I hope you understand that what I'm telling you is going to give you tools to work past things. It doesn't pay to be angry at people and to have grudges and to ruin your relationship with people that you might have had a good relationship at one time, all because because one person was in a bad situation and did make some bad decisions. Just apologize to each other. You're never too good to apologize. I always say that I apologize all the time. People say, "Why did you apologize for Lee Priest putting that mask on for 2 seconds?" It was people should grow up because you know what? If I insulted anyone, I don't want people to feel emotionally, damaged because of something that I said or I was involved in. That's not my intent. Once again, my intent is to educate. My intent is to motivate you. And my intent is to make you laugh. Because when you laugh, it puts you in a good mood. If I'm doing something that doesn't do any of those things, then I will apologize if I went beyond the line or crossed the line at some point, or if I was involved in someone else crossing the line and promoting that. And that's really what this is about. So hopefully all parties mentioned, if you guys want to foster peace and you want to just squash all this and make this go away, because there's nothing good that comes of negativity. You could get hits on your channel for a couple of weeks or something like that out of it, but in the end, there's nothing good that can become of it. And it festers and it just eats away at you. And you know what? You want to be able to just say, you know what? I am at peace with everyone, because when you are, you're at peace yourself. I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle Rant.